Hi, I'm Amanda Kraft, and welcome to the Art of Pro Makeup Teen Edition. Your teenage years can be very challenging, especially when it seems like every aspect of your life is changing. You have tons of questions with what seems like very few answers. You have information coming at you from all directions, from TV, movies, magazines, your parents, and yes, your friends. Well, I have some good news for you. I've got some tips and tricks in this video that might help to clear the air a little bit. Some of the topics that we're going to go over today, we're going to touch a little bit on self-confidence and how these things are important and how they play a role into your overall appearance and your persona. I'm going to go in depth a little bit about skincare, because once you have good skincare, everything else just falls into place with your look. We're going to go over 4 different makeup looks. The first look I'm going to talk to you about is a natural makeup look. Then I'm going to go into a look that's appropriate for school, a date look or a look that you might want to wear going out with your friends, and a formal event look such as for prom or homecoming. This is Vivian. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what I suggest for her to do to take care of her skin, and for any of you who have a very similar skin type to her. Vivian has more of a normal skin type. This means that she doesn't have any, her skin's not overly oily, she doesn't have too frequent of breakouts, and her skin stays pretty soft and supple most of the time, and the pH balance stays normal. So what we did for Vivian was we started with a gel cleanser, very basic gel cleanser. You want to stay away from anything that has any perfumes. Now what we did was we dampened her skin, massaged it in circular motions all over her face. It's important to massage your cleanser in because you're stimulating circulation. Once you've rinsed off your cleanser, you want to follow with a tonic or toner. Rose water is excellent. It's very inexpensive. You can get it at any health food store. Just pour it onto a cotton ball or pad and massage it into the skin all over, and don't neglect your neck. Always get your neck, but be sure that you go in an upward motion. We don't want to pull the skin down any faster than what it's already going to fall. Now, since Vivian has more of a normal skin type, she really can just use an oil-free lotion moisturizer. You just want a couple of pumps. So once you apply it into the fingertips, you're going to start from the forehead and you're going to do circular motions with your fingers. You don't want to take your hands and dig in, just your fingers, and go all around the face and really get in there. And if your face is slightly pink when you're done, that's fine, because it means you've stimulated that circulation and you're helping to feed the skin, like I said before, from the inside out. If you don't have the time, energy, or money to go out and purchase a pre-made exfoliant, feel free to look for an answer right in your kitchen. Now what I used on Vivian was a sugar and sweet almond oil mixture. I just took regular granulated sugar. We added sweet almond oil to it until it was a gooey paste. And onto dampened skin, we massaged it starting at the forehead, working all the way down into the neck. Now you want to remember, when you're exfoliating, stay away from the eye area. There's no need whatsoever to get your exfoliant around here. We rinse it with lukewarm water and pat it dry. Now what we did with Vivian was we used more of a cream mask. That's because even though her skin type is normal, it was a little bit on the dry side, and it actually needed that water put back into the skin. So on her clean exfoliated skin, we massaged in, again massaging that product into the skin. So once we left her cream mask on for about 10 minutes, we rinsed with lukewarm water and patted dry. So now that we have Vivian all squared away, I'm going to talk to you about Lisa and the recommendations that I made for her skincare and what you can do if you have a similar skin type to Lisa's. Lisa has a little bit more of a combination skin type. Now what I used for her was a foaming cleanser. This is something that you don't have to activate. It actually comes in a liquid form with a pump, and it comes out in a foam. So we just dampened her skin and she massaged the foaming cleanser from her face all the way down to her neck. You don't want to neglect this area. It also helps to dissolve any dirt, oil, and makeup that's going to be left on the skin. So we applied that to a damp face, then rinsed with lukewarm water, and you always want to pat dry. You don't want to rub, especially with a towel. That's really just going to aggravate your skin. Once we patted her dry, we used the green tea toner on her. This we just put on a cotton pad, and she massaged this all into her skin. Now before we allowed that to dry, since she does have a little bit more of a drier skin type on the cheeks, we just use more of a creamier moisturizer with SPF 15 on her cheeks. We use a little bit of a vitamin C eye cream just right around this area. Now, eye cream in the daytime, you really don't want to OD on it. If you do too much underneath in the daytime, none of your eye makeup is going to stay. It is a creamy consistency. It will emulsify your eyeliner, it'll emulsify your mascara, and you'll look like raccoon eyes by about lunchtime. Every single day, you need to be cleansing, toning, and moisturizing. Just program that in your brain, and that's something you're going to do every single day. But twice a week, and not 2 days consecutively, you want to exfoliate and you want to mask. Now, the way that we chose for Lisa to exfoliate, we gave her something that was already pre-made, and it's an oatmeal and honey scrub. So what we did was on moistened skin, we massaged the oatmeal and honey exfoliant all over her face and into her neck. Massaging it again in circular motions to not only get rid of that extra skin, but to stimulate the circulation again, to feed the skin from the inside out. We rinsed it with lukewarm water and patted dry. We went with a green clay mask. You want to apply a nice thick layer of your clay mask. Start up here at the hairline, and you want it to cover the entire face, avoiding the eye area. And when I say avoiding the eye area, I mean this entire orbit of the eye. If you don't have any sort of a blemish cream at home, a quick little fix is to get some eye drops. Now, the eye drops need to say gets the red out. That means that it has an anti-inflammatory inside to help bring down that swelling and reduce the redness. So what you'll do is you'll take a cotton swab or a Q-tip, and you'll saturate the Q-tip. You're basically just going to drown the little guy. You're just going to keep applying the eye drops every chance you get. Give it about a day and it's gone. It's wonderful. You're not making any scars on your face, and you've reduced the inflammation in an easy, safe way. We've got her skin cleansed, exfoliated, moisturized. She's ready to go. Now, it's important to do those steps in order to prep the skin for makeup. When the skin is soft and supple and clean, it wears makeup better. Makeup is supposed to accentuate what you already have. So you want to work with your natural features and take into consideration your natural skin color and your skin tone. So what I've done is I've chosen a yellow-based foundation. And this is actually more of an oil-free liquid form foundation. This is something that she can wear every day. This is very lightweight. And if you notice where I started here in the middle of the face. The middle of the face is typically where you need the most coverage. Now, the main focus here for foundation is to even out the skin tone. If you need a little bit more coverage in a few spots, then you go back with concealer. With a lot of us, our face is lighter than our body. So in that case, you want to match your foundation right in through here, either to your chest or to your neck. The other thing that you want to keep in mind is make sure there's no titanium dioxide in your foundation, because when you get your picture taken, that flash is going to bounce back off the titanium dioxide, and your friends are going to pick at you that your foundation doesn't match your skin. So just blend your foundation right into the jawline. As long as your foundation matches, there's no need to carry your foundation into your neck. So now that we've got her foundation all nice and smoothed out and applied, I'm going to go back with concealer and even out the rest of her skin. What you want to do is apply your concealer starting on the inside. And the concealer actually should be about 2 shades lighter than your foundation. There's really no need to apply concealer out here because why? You're not dark out here. What you're going to do is you're going to tap to blend. You do not ever want to rub, tug, smear, or pull around the eye area. Now, if you notice, I'm blending outward, but I didn't apply outward. You don't want the product to just stop suddenly underneath the eye. The other thing you want to notice is that when the concealer was applied, I went all the way up to the lash line. If you stop right in through here, you still have that pinkness underneath the eye here that's going to make you look tired. And if you notice, I went right into the corner. This is going to help to make her eye look more open, bigger, brighter, and this is not meant to be on the eyelid. If you put this on the eyelid, you might as well not even bother with eyeshadow or eyeliner or mascara because it's just not going to stay. It's like you're taking your canvas and you're taking out all the color where you don't want it, and then you're going to put the color back in where you do want it in strategic places. Once you have your concealer on and blended, you need to set it. Like I said before, if you don't set it, it won't stay. Now I'm just using a translucent powder with a nice fluffy brush, and I'm patting it. I'm not gonna streak it across. I'm just gonna tap out any creases and then press in the powder. The reason I chose a translucent powder to set the concealer is because you don't want to add any color underneath the eye. Your concealer did all of that. Your concealer took away any bluish, purplish tones that are going to make you look tired, took away any darkness, and it helped to lighten and brighten everything. So there's no need to use any sort of a colored powder. Just use a nice translucent one. Now, the proper way that you should shape your eyebrows, you want to keep them more of a natural shape. And I'm going to show you how you can choose the most natural shape for your eye. What you want to do is look at your eye, dead square in the mirror. And remember, your brows are sisters, not twins, so they don't have to be exactly the same. If one's a little bit off on the arch than the other, don't worry about it. So here's what you do. You can hold a pencil, brush, whatever you like, right up to where your eye begins. This is where your eyebrows should begin. You're going to look straight into the mirror, and you're going to look to see where the colored part of your eye ends, which is right here, and this is where your arch is going to be. And then you're going to lay your brush right along the angle of the end of your eye, and this is where your eyebrows should end. And there's different ways to achieve that shape. You can use tweezers, you can have them waxed, there's all different types of threading, and choose what works best for you. We're just going to brush them up and then brush them over. This is going to give me an idea of where the hair is actually like to lay. Now, I'm doing a natural look on Lisa, so I don't want to fill in her brows too much. So I'm just going to use a nice powder, and you want to get as close to the hair color as possible. So what I'm going to do is with the powder on the brush, I'm starting here where she really needs it, right in the beginning. And I'm just using short little strokes, just like this, just like this. I'm pretending that I'm drawing little hairs, like I'm sketching. So after every product that you apply, you're going to blend. So it's always apply, blend, apply, blend. So I've applied a color, and now I'm going to blend it. And when you're doing a very natural look, the brows, it shouldn't be this major transformation. Eyeshadow is a great way to really enhance your features. Lisa doesn't have much of a crease. Her eyelid is more flat. So what I want to do is go ahead and close your eyes for me. I want to use something to help open up her eyes. So I'm working with more yellow-based shadows. Press that pigment right in there. And then remember, apply, blend, apply, blend. You don't want to see where one color stops and the next color begins. You just want them to blend right into each other. And I love this shade. It's like a nice peachy shade. And the texture that I'm using on Lisa is more of a pressed powder. It's a pressed powder with a little bit of shimmer, not frost, shimmer. Shimmer is actually going to bounce the light around your eye, again giving it that bigger, brighter feel to it. So we've got the lid color down. Now I'm going to come back. I'm going to put a highlighter color underneath the brow. Here we are with the highlighter color. If you notice, I'm using a fluffier brush. Where I started the application is right here in the center of the brow, and I'm blending outwards because this is where I want the accentuation of the color. And then the great thing is that once I have her highlighter color on, I'm actually blending it down into the crease because I want the two colors to overlap. So now that we have her eyeshadow finished, we're going to go into eyeliner. And I have this technique that you're going to love forever. Now, when doing your eyeliner, don't feel like you always have to stick with brown. There are tons of other colors, but since we are doing a natural look, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a black, but I'm going to use more of a black cream. I'm going to use this nice flat brush, and what I'm going to do is fill in the spaces in between her lash line. And I'm going to slightly lift her lid and just fill in the spaces. By filling in her lash line, it actually just gives the effect that she's got fuller, thicker lashes. And you want to try to stay off the pink part because then that's just going to wind up as gobbledygook in your eye. And when you're applying your eyeliner, you want to go from start to finish. And when I mean start to finish, I mean from one corner to the other corner. None of this halfway stuff where you do the V. Stick with more of a gel. Most of them are smudge-proof, waterproof, and they just last all day long. You don't have to touch it up. This does not look like your typical hard liquid line. Okay, so now that we have her eyeliner finished, we're going to go ahead and put on her mascara. For Lisa's mascara, I decided to go with a basic black. So what you want to do is lift the lid just a little bit. I'm not pulling it, just lifting it. The reason you want to get as close to the root of the lash as possible is to give the illusion that you have more lashes than what you really do. And then once I get to the root of the lash, I'm just wiggling my way outward. So that way I coat each and every hair. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, we're doing a natural look. Why didn't you choose a dark brown mascara? Well, because she has dark hair, she has dark eyes, she has dark eyebrows. Why would I choose a mascara color that's not going to work with those colors? Now for the bottom lashes, all I'm going to do is just barely touch them. Now, one of the cheapest and best friends you can have when doing your makeup is a cotton swab. You can literally buy hundreds of these things for $1. I'm leaving it clean, and I'm just barely grazing. I'm not rubbing. And then now that I have her eyes done, I can take my fluffy eyeshadow brush and just dust away the excess powder, and then her eyes are finished. We're almost there. We just have cheeks and lips to do. So now that we have her eyes completed, we're going to move on to cheek color. Just a little pop of color on the cheek really just warms up the face. I'm going to start right here on the apples. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend back and down. And if you notice, I'm using a pressed powder blush. My brush is kind of flat, and I'm not holding it on and grinding it into the face. I'm using the flat side of the brush and just patting it on. No reason to apply blush up here because we don't blush up there. Now, if you do have a lot of pink in your skin naturally, you don't want to choose a pink blush. What I chose for Lisa here is more of a peachy corally color. Just because she has yellow in her skin, if I were to do too much of a pinky blush on her skin, it would actually turn ashy. We're just going to do a little bit of lip gloss to round out our natural look, and then she's ready. We have the last and final touch, and the icing on the cake, if you will, the lip gloss. And girls, we can never have enough lip gloss. So I'm using a brush to apply her lip gloss, and I'm just choosing more of a peachy corally shade. Since we are going for more of the natural look, I want to keep this lip color sheer. Now, lip gloss is something that you're going to have to touch up throughout the day because the glossier the product, the less staying power it has. So thanks for joining me while I give Lisa her gorgeous natural look. Stay tuned while I show you some more. Alright, now we have Vivian. What I'm going to show you with Vivian is a great look that's good to wear to school. This can also be a good everyday look, but this look is going to have a little bit more color than the natural look, and it's going to stay on longer. So I'm going to start, like I did before, just with Vivian's foundation, starting in the middle of the face and working the way out. Now that we have Vivian's foundation perfected, I'm going to go back in where she needs a little bit of extra coverage with my concealer brush and just touch her up where she needs it. And that's going to be wherever there might be a small blemish, a little bit around the nose to cut the redness. All right, it looks like we have this concealer all finished up. I'm going to go ahead and grab some powder and we'll set her face. I'm going to work the powder right into the foundation. Now, when you're done setting this, it should just look like perfect skin. So that's foundation, concealer, and powder. This is all we've got on. So Vivian's in look. She's got great eyebrows. So what I've done first is I brush them into place. You want to brush them up and then brush them down. And sometimes when you brush your eyebrows, you might see some little flakes coming out. Don't worry about it. It's just dry skin. And she doesn't really need that much. She's got great brows. Gonna fill in right a little bit in the beginning. Nice natural shape. And then fill in on the side. No need to go in the middle. No need at all. Nice and full right there. Now, even though this look is going to be a little bit more dressed up than the other look, it's a daytime look that you're going to wear to school. Now, you don't need to go to school looking like a glamour puss, but at the same time, you know, you need it to last all day, so you don't have to keep touching it up before every bell rings between each period. Now, for those of you that have really full eyebrows, I mean, you actually have lots of individual hairs in your eyebrows. And no matter how much you comb them, how much you spray them, they just don't want to behave. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to brush them up just like this. And see how the hairs are sticking up above that? You'll take some little trimming scissors, just like this, and you'll just go right over the edge. Now, and if you have very thin eyebrows with not a lot of hair, that's actually where you're going to take a pencil to help to fill them in and kind of fake your shape a little bit, and then go back over it with powder. And then between the pencil giving you shape and definition, and then the powder on top of that is going to actually grab the hair that you already have and then give the illusion that you have a thicker brow than what you really do. So now we're going to move on to eyeshadow, and because this needs to stay on all day, I'm going straight for a cream shadow. I'm using a brush so that way it just stays on, but what I'm doing is I'm using a very small brush and I'm applying at the base of the lash and then blending upward. At the base of the lash is really where you want the most of your color, the majority of your color, should I say. And again, because I'm using a cream product, I'm using a synthetic brush. I don't want to use any of those natural bristles because those natural bristles are going to absorb my product and then it won't spread. And then the great thing about this cream shadow is that once I get it on, it's not coming off. She's going to have this on all day and not have to worry about touching up her eyeshadow. And look at just what a little bit of color right there on the lid. And the color that I'm using is kind of a coppery brown with a golden shimmer. And I chose that color because I love the golden highlights in her hair. I love the warmth of her skin, and I want to grab her natural eye color. I want that to pop. I want, whenever you look at Vivian's pretty face, I want your eye to be drawn immediately to hers. It'll help for when she's trying to negotiate that tardy pass. So now that we have the cream shadow on the lid, I'm actually going to use a pressed powder shadow under the brow. You don't want to put powders directly on top of the creams because then they're going to cake up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my highlighter color and I'm going to start right underneath the middle of the arch, and then I'm going to blend outward. By putting just a little bit of powder on the edge, it gives it even more staying power. So eyeshadow is done. This is 2 quick, easy steps. This is going to get her right out the door, and it's going to stay on all day. All right, so I'm going to grab some eyeliner, and I'll be right back. Now that I have the eyeshadow finished, I'm going to move right into eyeliner. Now, since she has on brown shadow, I'm not going to use a brown eyeliner. Not that that's wrong, but it's really just not going to do that much here. So I'm choosing more of a darker gray. This way it's not as harsh as black. Go ahead and close your eyes for me. And I am using a traditional eyeliner pencil. It's just a very creamy pencil. So don't sit here and stress yourself out about trying to draw a perfect line. Sit there and make little dashes and play connect the dots. It looks softer, it looks smoother, and it's much less stressful. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill in the inside corner, but I'm still going from one corner to the other, just sticking along the lash line. It's not too thick of a line, because remember, if I go too thick or if I put too much, I'm running the risk of it just not lasting all day. Smudge it up a little bit so it's not so hard. And then all I did was I took the pencil and I just wiggled it right in between the bottom lashes. So we've got on the eyeliner, now I'm going to move to mascara. All right, so now we're into mascara. I'm going to go back on the outside corners and just give her an extra little coat of mascara. Just give a little bit more emphasis on that outside corner. This is going to help to elongate the eye. And the reason I say just touch them is because a lot of people will have darker lashes at the root, and then their lashes will be blonde on the tip. Beautiful eyes. So now that we've got her eyes finished, let's move on to cheeks and lips. So for Miss Vivian, I chose to use a cream to powder blush. So what I'm doing is I'm starting with the apples and I'm blending back and down. Now, even though Vivian has a little bit more of a normal skin type, she's got some dry and flakiness on the cheeks and around the nose. So I figured a cream to powder blush was going to be good for her. Because it is a cream to powder texture, it's okay to do it on top of the powder. You see how nice that is? Just apply a little and blend. And it's always easier to add more than it is to take away. Now, just to give this a little bit of a set, And to give her a little bit more warmth to the skin, I'm going to use a very, very light shade of a bronzer. It has a little bit of a golden metallic to it, so it's going to give her a nice little shine right on the cheek. And I shouldn't even say shine, even more like a shimmer. So as she moves, it's just going to catch the light. Now, whenever you apply bronzer, you want to think, whenever you just come off the beach, where do you have color at? It shouldn't, bronzer doesn't need to be all over here and all over here. Then you're just going to look dirty. So you want to do some here on the cheek, not on the apples where you have your blush, but more here on the tops. Because when you're out in the sun, this is where you're going to get your color, right in through here. And there you have it, blush and bronzer. This is a very, very quick process that does quite a bit for your look. So we're going to round out Vivian's look with a great lip color. Now, to get this to really stay on, first I'm going to apply the actual lipstick or lip color. Then I'm going to use a lip liner. And the reason I'm going to use a lip liner after the lip color is because that way, as her lip color starts to fade, it all fades together. So here we go. What I'm going to do, I got the lipstick. And if you notice, I'm not using that dark of a shade. Remember, I'm choosing this look for daytime, going to school, every day. I've got just this nice peachy brown. Really, really pretty. Now you don't want to go too matte on the lips. If you use a lipstick that's too matte, it's just going to make the lips look drier. I'm using a brush to apply the lip color. The reason I use a brush to apply the lip color is, for one, it stays on longer. Two, it really helps to spread the pigment everywhere I need it to go, and I can get a great line. I can get right into the corners, I can get right into the Cupid's bow, right up in here. All right, so we've got the lip color on. Now I'm going to go grab a lip liner and some lip gloss, and then she'll be good to go. Now, the lip liner doesn't match the lipstick exactly, but it's very close. So I don't want you to feel pressure to match the two. But you see how you see a difference here between the lip liner and the lipstick? So what you need to do is blend those two together. I'm using the tip of the pencil to line and define the lips, and then I'm going back and using the side of the pencil like this to fill in the lip. All right, so I've got on lipstick, lip liner. Her lips are nice and defined, not overly defined. So now I have lip gloss. You want to concentrate the application of your lip gloss right in the center of the lip. This lip gloss that I chose is more on the clear side. It's like a clear gold. It doesn't have too much pigment, but it actually has specks of glitter in it. Not frost, not shimmer, but glitter. And as she talks, as she moves her face, the light's just going to bounce off those little pieces of glitter, giving the illusion, remember it's all about the illusion, of bigger, fuller lips. So this is Vivian's natural but school daytime look. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for another look. Start with Siobhan's foundation. Remember what I said before, you want to match your foundation to your chest and your neck, not your face, because 9 times out of 10 your face is going to be lighter than your neck and your chest. Now this look that we're doing here is great for prom, homecoming, or any formal occasion that you might go to, say a wedding. And what I'm doing with her foundation is I'm starting from the outside of the face and I'm working my way in. It's more of a stick foundation, which I have just rubbed off onto my trusty little sponge here. If you notice, it looks just like perfect skin, not like a bunch of makeup. All right, so now I'm going to come back with some concealer. If you really just get one good under eye concealer and one good concealer for the face, you are all set. Now, the reason I say 2 different ones is because your concealer for underneath the eye should be nice and creamy, and your concealer for the face should have more, a little bit of a tackier texture. That way it actually adheres to the face and doesn't slide off. So what we're going to do is I'm going to actually start with her under eye. I'm going to start my application on the inside of the eye. So I have that nice and blended in. And you see the difference? Instant sleep. I'm a firm believer in fake it till you make it. So now I'm going to set the face with powder. I'm actually using a translucent powder. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the top here, and I'm going to press and roll. Now if you notice, I'm not taking this powder, even though it's translucent, I'm not taking it up around the eye. I'm taking it right up to this orbital bone right here, all over the face, pretty much everywhere that you put your foundation, your concealer. Moving on to eyebrows. Eyebrows really frame the face and open up the eyes. You want the eyebrows to begin where the eye begins. You want them to arch where the colored part of the eye ends. Then you want your eyebrows to end right against where the end of the eye, come out at a diagonal, and this is where your eyebrows should end. I'm actually going to start with a brow pencil, and I'm going to draw in what she needs. And what I'm doing is just nice, short strokes to give it the illusion that it looks like hair. I'm going to take my brush, kind of looks like a mascara wand, and blend. Now, while you're shaping your brows, if you're doing this at home, you can actually take a white eyeliner pencil. Draw the shape that you want with the white eyeliner pencil. Now, the trick is to tease all of the hairs outside the white lines. Now, if you notice the color that I'm using for her brow pencil, is not that much different than her natural brow color. And you don't necessarily have to have your brows be the exact same color as your hair. Now what I'm going to use is a little bit of a brow powder, and again, using nice short strokes. Now if you notice, I didn't take a whole bunch of powder right in through here. I'm focusing on the front, and I'm focusing on the very end. Now, until we get the rest of the color, it is going to look a little unbalanced. You can take a little bit of hairspray, and you're going to spray a little bit on your fingertip and just brush it right on top of the brow. Now they're not going anywhere. Like I said, at the same time, they don't look like they've been gelled down and have that wet look. So enough about eyebrows. Let's move on to eyeshadow. Because I just love the color of her eyes, I chose a little bit of a purple shade. Now if you notice, I'm using my fingers again. I'm not going all the way up to the brow. I'm focusing on that lower lid area. So what I'm doing is I'm blending from the lash to the crease. And for those of you that don't know what your crease is, open your eye for me. It's actually where the orbit of your eye is. It's actually where your bone, where your brow bone is. And when you open your eye, the lid creates a little crease. I love the way the purple just grabs that green eye and just makes it pop. This is a shimmer. This is not a frost or a glitter. Keeping things kind of soft but colorful. Remember, I want the focus to be her features, not her makeup. All right, I'm gonna grab some more eyeshadow. We're gonna have some fun. What I have now is more of an eggplant color. And actually I have this nice round, slightly fluffy but not too compact of a brush. So I'm actually gonna start right here in the corner. I'm gonna start close to the lash line. I'm gonna blend up. And this is gonna be a little bit of a smoky eye. Smoky eyes don't necessarily have to be a rim of black smudged all around the eye. The term smoky eye is for the technique of smudging the shadow, smudging the liner, variegating the color so that it blends and it flows. It doesn't have to be black. I'm doing hers in purple. They can be green, they can be brown, they can be pretty much any color you want them to be. And since I'm doing a bit of a smoky eye, I'm not really going to do a crease color. I want my darkest color near the lashes. And if you notice, I'm focusing the application here on the outside, not so much on the inside. I want to keep that inner eye nice and bright. Now I'm going to go back underneath the brow and do a highlighter. Now if you notice, what I did was I'm using more of a matte color for a highlighter because we already have two shimmer shadows. You don't want to make your whole entire eye shimmery. Now what I'm doing with the highlighter is I'm starting the application in the middle underneath the brow, and I'm just taking my finger and I'm blending it in, and I'm slightly going into the crease. All right, so we got some highlighter. Now I'm going to come back with the eyeliner. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in the spaces in between her lashes. Okay, nice flat eyeliner brush. I have a silicone-based cake eyeliner. Now if you notice, it's very dry. So what I've done here is I have some water, and actually what I did first was I wet my brush. Look at that. Nice thick consistency. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my finger, I'm going to pop her lid. And when I say pop it, I'm just going to press on it. You don't want to get any product on that pink membrane. The root of the lash actually comes out of the lid. That's where you want to fill it in. See how I've just filled in the lash line? And this is just giving the effect of a fuller, thicker lash. Now, I want you to lift your chin up, and I want you to look down, and I want you to do what I just did. And wiggle that right in between the lashes. Make sure you don't get any on the pink part. And if it feels weird, it's gonna, because it's something different.
I think I got my eye.
Ah, she got the pink part.
Yeah.
That's precisely why I keep some of these cotton swabs around. What you'll want to do is just gently tug on the lid and just clean it off. So now I'm going to take a powder-based pencil and I'm going to smudge it around her eye. So I'm going to start from the outside. I'm going to work my way in. You do want to get it all right above that lash line. I prefer a short dome brush, and just get in there and just work your brush back and forth. Don't put your eyeliner on the inside of your eyelid for every day. This is only for a smoky look, for something very dramatic, for a special occasion. But I want you to see how by rimming the eye changes up the look. Now for mascara, we're gonna just go with a black thickening water-resistant mascara. So I'm gonna lift the lid slightly, only because I want this brush to go all the way to the root of the lash. And what I'm doing is I'm wiggling my way out. This is not some special brush. All I did was bend the end of the applicator. All I'm doing is just touching the bottom lashes. And then see how there's a little bit of dust? All I'm gonna do is go back with my fluffy brush, and I'm just gonna brush this off. Now this is also where I'm taking my nice big fluffy powder brush, and I'm just blending everything down. Now that her eyes look absolutely stunning, I'm gonna show you how to give her cheeks and her skin a beautiful glow. So now we're moving on to cheek color. Cheek color is very, very important. It gives you this nice, beautiful glow to the face. So I have my trusty cheek color brush. I'm going to start right here on the apples, and you're going to blend back, and you're going to blend down. And if you notice, I'm using more of a flat cheek color brush. Since I am doing more cooler tones on Siobhan, I did choose more of a pinky brown blush. And I went with a pinky brown because I didn't do bronzer. And when you see her dress, you'll understand. Now I am going to use a cream highlighter because the highlighter is going to go up here. But once I put the highlighter on and she does this, you're just going to catch a little glimpse of shimmer. And it's really going to add a nice luminosity to the skin. I'm going to start right here on the cheekbone and just dab. Don't smear, because you're going to smear off any makeup. But there's her cheeks. I'm going to grab a lip color, and we'll finish you up. To round out this look, I'm going to give her a stunning lip. So since I have her eyes as the focus, I'm going to go a little softer on the lip. I just have a nice nude pencil. I'm going to line the lips and fill them in. I have applied some of my lip color, and I'm using my lip pencil to work it into the lip liner. All right, so now I've got a pretty lip gloss. This is just more of a clear gold. And what I've done is I've started in the middle of the lip and I'm working my way out. Now when I'm done, she's not going to rub her lips together. You don't want to do that because what you're doing is you're pushing your lip color out here on the outside of the lip line and just making a big old mess. Take a look at that. Just a nice, soft, sheer pink lip. I did go pink, but it doesn't match any of the other colors on her face. Yes, I do have mainly all cool colors on the entire face, but notice it's not pink, 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 and it's not violet, violet, violet. So we've got the black and the violet with a little bit of a matte cream shadow with a little bit of black eyeliner. We went for a pinky brown, and this is more of a white shimmer that I put on the top. I wanted to stay sheer and soft and luminous with the lip, so that way when you look at her pretty face, the focus still goes here. right, Siobhan, we got you all gussied up for prom. Now it's time to show you a little bit more of an edgier look. I'm going to show you the perfect red lip, how to apply it and how to maintain it. So first things first, what you want to do is outline your lips. Outline your lips with concealer. This actually keeps the red lips from running outside the lip line and fading. It's important to choose the right shade of red lipstick. There's a blue red, there's true reds, there's orange reds. Now, since she has these beautiful green eyes, she has more of a softer skin tone, a cooler color to her skin is really what I'm trying to say. I chose a blue red for her. So what I'm doing first, I'm taking a very fine point on my pencil and I'm drawing the outline of the lip. But if you notice, I'm using red. I'm not using brown, I'm not using black, I'm using red because you want the lip liner to blend into the lipstick. And if you mess up on your outline, wipe it up right away because red is going to stain. Now, option A is that you can take a lip crayon. Just use the side to fill it in. This is going to give it the look of lipstick, but it's going to give it a little bit more wearability. Okay, so we've got the lip crayon. Now, red lipstick. I mean, you could leave it like this and just go with the matte look, but the matte look, it's just so early 90s. The more matte you are, the older and drier it makes you look. Love to put red lipstick on with a brush. I can be so exact. They also come in different textures. Like I showed you a matte lip. This is now a creamy lip. There's no shimmer. This is just a cream. You could do a sheer red lip. You could do a red stain. I love red stains. A red stain looks like you ate a popsicle and the popsicle stains your lips. If you're wearing a red dress or a red shirt, that does not mean you have to wear red lipstick. All black and red lips is so stunning. Or even all white. Voila, the perfect red lip. It's classic, it's stunning, and makes a big statement. All right, you ready to go out?
Sure am.
All right, I'm going to show you a great edgy look for a night out on the town. This time, it's all about the shadow. Playing with bright colors can be lots of fun, but what you want to keep in mind, again, hair color, skin color, eye color. If you pick something that's too close to the family of your eye color, it's just going to look like a big blob. So what I'm doing is I'm focusing the color all on the lid. This way, as she blinks, you get that nice flash of color, and it's not just too intense. And then not to mention, you know, when you're out and the lights are low, you've got this great color on that just shows up above and beyond everybody else's. And I don't want the blue up here. I'm really just doing the blue from the lash to the crease. Since I'm focusing on the eyes, look up for me, I'm not going to go down and oomph up her cheek color. I'm not going to give her some crazy lip color either. I'm going to stick with just the eyes and keep everything else real soft. You already saw how to do great red lips and smoky eyes. So showing you how to do bright color is just going to round everything out. Now you'll be ready for any occasion. Okay, so now that I have this great color, I'm going to grab one more, not quite as deep, but with a little bit more shimmer. And I'm going to use this as a crease color. And this has both shimmer and glitter. Now I'm not using blue, blue, blue. This is even kind of more of a turquoise color. Okay. So I have lid color, crease color, and I'm going to go for a highlighter. Now, since she is going out in the town and we are going pretty edgy, I am going to go for a white frost. This is so that way when she's dancing in the club and the lights are going all over the place, you know, no matter which way she moves, the light's going to be bouncing off of her face. Now, you've done all these colored shadows. Don't go with a colored liner. It's just going to look too much like you got into a fight with a box of Crayolas and lost. So if you're going to do lots of color, just do black liner and black mascara. Keep things simple that way. Take a smudge brush into this brighter blue. Look up for me. And I'm going to go right underneath here. And all I'm using is a nice flat smudge brush. I'm just wiggling this right into the lash line. Now I've got my black pencil. And this is going to be a little bit more of a smudge line. and just use black, just plain old black. It doesn't have to be a glittery black. I'm just going to get right on the tip of that lash line just to give it that pop. See the difference how going back and touching up the under eye concealer just really makes the eye color pop? You don't want to have everything messy underneath. Do just a little pop on the cheek. And again, keeping the cheek color very, very soft. Okay, and then for this lip, I really suggest just a fleshy, high gloss shade. Really the main focus is going to be your lower lip anyway. This way, by doing a nice fleshy tone with the lip gloss, when it does wear off, she can just take a clear lip gloss and retouch, or if it's completely worn off, it's not going to take away from the look. So this is her edgy, clubbing, going out with her girlfriends, dancing look. I hope you enjoy. Have a great time.
Thank you.
That about wraps it up for the teen edition of The Art of Pro Makeup. I'm Amanda Kraft, and I hope you enjoyed yourself as much as I did. Hope you got some useful tips and tricks, and here's to more beautiful you.